All right, welcome back. Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about improving your follow-up by asking better questions. So, I've done a few videos, many actually, on the subject of follow-up. Some of it's organizational. Today, I want to talk about just the concept of asking better questions of your prospects. So, first of all, there's power in being inquisitive, right? There's power in curiosity. And I want you guys to understand how unbelievably powerful it is, just the act of asking a question is of anybody about anything. If you don't know something, you ask and you get an answer, right? We've all heard the phrase, ask and ye shall receive. It's something we've heard for probably our whole lives. But sometimes we hear it and we don't really understand the ultimate power behind asking questions. Now, if we take that directly into follow-up, specifically in network marketing, look, what's the purpose of a follow-up? Well, I'm getting back to you because you had requested additional information, and now I'm getting back to you to find out how you feel about what you saw, what you heard, get your feedback, address any questions, enroll you into the program, get you on the products, whatever it is. That's why we're getting back to somebody. So we've heard the phrase, of course, maybe, I don't know, it depends on who's plugging in here, but the fortune is in the follow-up. I totally agree with that. Most of your money is going to be made as a result of you getting back to people, so I think it's very important for you to be on top of your follow-up game, that you don't drop the ball, that you don't become flaky on follow-up, that you get back to people, so that's critical, of course. But let's talk about setting up the follow-up. Like, for example, let me help you understand the difference between asking better questions versus not so good questions. So if I had a conversation with a guy and I got him in front of a video about my opportunity, let's say it was a 10-minute video and he liked what he saw and he was like, wow, this is pretty cool, seems pretty interesting to me, but he needed more information. He needed more information about the company or the compensation plan or whatever it is. First of all, it would be great for you to identify and figure out exactly what it is the person needs to get. What additional information do they require? So John, talk to me. So tell me exactly what additional information do you feel that you need in order to make an informed decision for yourself? I want to make sure that I can get you whatever you require so that you can take a look at this and make your own relaxed and informed decision. I can't force you into this. It's got to be something that you decide on your own that this is right for you, this is right for you and your family. And my job essentially is to make sure I get all the answers for you, everything addressed so that you can figure out, hey, do I want to run with this or is this something I not want to do? Okay? So, I mean, that's really our job, right? And so let's say, first of all, it's finding out by asking what additional information do you feel like you need? Oh, I'd really like to know more about the compensation plan, or I'd really like to know more about the company's history or more product details or whatever the situation might be, right? So we want to ask that question. So let's say he says, I need more information about the compensation plan. There goes my fax machine while I'm doing this, that's fine. And so then what I'm going to do at that point is get John that additional information. Don't you love that old style fax tone? I'm not going to stop and re-edit the video because my fax machine is going off. It is what it is. So now at that point, what we want to identify is what additional information. In this case, he wants to get information about the compensation plan. Now, secondly, we also want to figure out what is the best way to deliver that. So somebody might be more inclined to listen to an audio or read a PDF or find out, is it best for me? What's the best way for me to contact you? I mean, we don't want to assume that email or text or call is the best thing for somebody. We got to figure out what that is. And it involves us asking questions. So if I ask, well, John, what's the best way for me to get this information to you? Oh, send it to my text message, and because I'm on my mobile all the time, or send it to my email. Make sure we confirm their email address or their phone number if necessary. So asking these questions, just asking a question in general, is going to help us clarify and know exactly what it is that the person requires for them to make an informed decision for themselves. So he says, look, text message is the best for me. I'm like, great, I'm going to send you a text message today. And like, okay, so let's say I'm going to send it right now. I'm on the phone with the guy, and he says, you can send it to me on text, and he would prefer to see a video about the compensation plan because that's his preferred consumption media, right? Maybe it's on PDF, and they're like, I prefer to read it, or maybe they like both. So that's a good thing for you to ask and find out exactly how they prefer to review information, right? Now, I'm going to set up the follow-up call, and I'm going to schedule a time. And so I'm going to send him the text right now. Say, John, I'm going to send you the text with the PDF and the video. And let's say it's in the evening. When in the next 24 hours can you take a look at that information so I can get back to you? Now that's a better question than can I? Like, for example, let me show you the difference. If I ask the question, can I get back to you sometime? Or if you never ask, then you're never going to schedule a follow-up appointment. But if I at least ask the question, can I? That's better than not asking. But it's a question where they can say yes or no to it. So if you formulate your question, sentence structure, question structure matters. So if you put the word when in front of it, when can I get back to you in the next 24 hours? It presupposes that I can get back to the guy. Or if you want to even dial it in even more, I could say, John, when can I get back to you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock? Which one would be better for you? And he'll say, well, I can't do either. I can do 11:30. And because you asked a better question, you're going to get a better response. It's because you don't want to ask, can I get back to you? Because he's like, no, I'll get back to you when I feel like it, right? And that's not the game that we're playing. But if you put when can I, or when can I get back to you in the next 24 hours, or when can I get back to you tomorrow morning, it's a better way of asking the question. Now I get back to John, okay? So I'm getting back to John, let's say at 11:30 tomorrow. Let's say that's when we schedule the appointment. When I show up for that appointment, and this is your job, and this is what I'm talking about, improving your follow-up by asking better questions, is you get on the phone with the person, he answers the phone. I'm just going to do the made-up example where he does answer the phone, he shows up, and I say, John, did you have a chance to review the information on the compensation plan, the video and the PDF I sent you? He said, I did. I had a chance to go through it thoroughly. I'm like, great. Do you have any questions that I can address for you, right? That would be a great question. That way we're pulling out what other additional information does this guy require in order to make an informed decision. Maybe he's got all the information, but we don't know until we ask. If it was going back to the 10-minute video in the beginning and he watched the 10-minute video, as soon as the video's done, I'm going to ask this type of question. What did you like the most about what you just saw? That's a great question to ask rather than, hey, what do you think? I don't really want to ask the what do you think question because they might just tell you what they think. And I'm not that I'm afraid of what they think, but I'd rather get a feel-based answer. What did you like the most? And by the way, it forces a positive response. So if you understand the way that question is structured, what did you like the most? Well, it makes them think, well, the thing that I like the most is the product, or the thing I like the most is the business, or the thing I like the most is the whole thing. I don't know. But if we structure our questions appropriately, we're going to get the kind of answers that we're looking for. What did you like the most? A great question for me that I love to ask, I think it's a very powerful question to use in follow-up after somebody's seen some information, reviewed a full-blown presentation, for example, is, John, that's a good idea of who we are, what we do, gives you a great idea of what our company is about. Let me ask you a quick question. If you were going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, I'm not interested, this is not for me, and 10, oh my goodness, I see this, I got to do this, what number would you give yourself? And it forces them to think, well, I'm a 1, I'm a 2, I'm a 3, a 4, 5, I'm a 10, whatever it is, and that's like a temperature gauge for you. And so I think it's really powerful because when you ask that question, it's literally on a temperature gauge. Oh, I'm a 10. Okay, great. Well, that person's very interested. They're a 3. Clearly, they're not very interested. So think about when you're following up with people, whether it's after they've reviewed the initial information, what did you like the most? About what you saw, what you heard, what you watched, what you read, depending on what kind of information you get to them. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's a great question. On a follow-up call, that would be kind of considered a follow-up at that beginning. So you're getting back to the person perhaps after they listened to or watched that initial presentation. Now in this example I talked about where this guy is going to get information about the compensation plan, the PDF and the video, when I'm getting back to them in the second time, he's already seen the presentation. He already probably gave me, I'm a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. I need more information about the comp plan to make an informed decision. I schedule an appointment by saying, when can I, not can I, when can I get back to you? Tomorrow morning between 8 or 10 o'clock, which is better? I can do 11:30. I'm like, great, we can do 11:30. Then when I get back to that person, your job at that is to address their questions, is to find out, hey, look, John, did you have a chance to watch the compensation plan video? Did you read the PDF? I did it. Okay, great. Do you have any questions for me? Is there any other information that you need in order to say, hey, let's go do this? And again, it's just all about asking questions and finding out where your prospect is. The more questions you ask, the more well-structured questions that you ask, the better results that you're going to get. So just think, when you're engaging people in conversation, online or offline, how you're structuring what you're saying. And if you get really good at just asking questions and uncovering, being inquisitive, being curious, you're going to discover things and you're going to be able to find out what they need, what they know, what they don't know, and it's going to help you lead them closer to a decision that they get to make on their own. No forced decisions. We don't force people into this business. We're a tour guide. We guide them through the information, allow them to make a fully informed decision, and we'll talk about closing, I'm sure, on another episode here. So listen, I don't know where you're plugging into me. I love that you're here. Great thing to do is plug on in over. And if you want to get the rest of this episode and other details that are associated with it, go to toddfalcone.com/episode 25. That's TODDFALCONE.com/episode 25. You can get the rest of the details. There's some great downloads there for you on that page as well that are free to help you build your network marketing business. I appreciate you for plugging in, and we will see you or hear you or whatever on another episode. Thanks for plugging in. Stay fearless, my friends. We'll see you soon.